What I share with you in this video has the potential to completely transform the way you manifest, but it is very controversial. That's why I invite you to watch this video with an open mind, because in today's video I'm going to reveal 5 Bible verses that allowed me to manifest the life I've always dreamed of. How to pray so that everything you want will easily flow to you. And why receiving all the money and the health that you want depends on what you do with the door. And what if I told you that the number one emotion that you have to overcome if you want to manifest with these Bible verses is separation? You know, when I was younger, when I was in high school, I never paid any attention in religious classes, and I didn't really identify myself as a religious person. But everything changed for me when I stumbled upon the teachings of Neville Goddard. And even Joe Dispenza on one of his advanced retreats said the following words: "I just love God." And a big limiting belief from a lot of people who are interested in manifesting is that they believe, in my opinion falsely, that religious beliefs and manifestation can only exist mutually exclusive and that you can't combine them. But if that was the case, we could simply throw all the lectures from Neville Goddard out of the window and never look at them again. Because, well, Neville Goddard in many of his lectures talks about Bible verses, looks at Bible verses and shares this wisdom with us in the same way as I now want to share the first Bible verse with you. And this Bible verse has everything to do with this picture and the word faith, because your faith creates your reality, your faith creates your experiences, and your faith creates the reactions in your life, which means how other people react to you and how you react to the world around you. And when I think back to my 20s, I can confidently say that my faith was directed towards poverty. My faith was directed towards me being unworthy of health, and as a result, I not only actively destroyed my body, but I also manifested experiences that then led me to, well, right on an operating table. So how can you change that? You can change that by directing your faith in a completely different direction. And here's what is written in Matthew 9:29. "According to your faith shall it be done to you." Which means that your faith dictates the outcomes that you experience in your life. Now, have you ever wondered why some people receive everything when they are praying and others receive absolutely nothing? How is that possible? Well, I just have to think back to the way my beloved grandmother used to pray. Even in old age, she was kneeling down in the church and begging God, like, "Oh God, please, please." And I can't remember one time when her wish was actually fulfilled. Because here's what's written in Matthew 21:22. "And all things whatsoever you shall ask in prayer, believing, you shall receive." Which means that everything you pray for can only flow to you if you really believe that you can receive it. And the only way for you to believe that you can receive it is if you feel worthy of it. Because if you feel worthy, then you can attract the life you want and the wealth you want. If you feel unworthy, then you won't attract the life that you want, and you will attract poverty instead of wealth. And by you begging, by you being desperate, by you begging God for what you want, you cannot feel worthy. You cannot be a beggar and at the same time feel worthy. You cannot in desperation beg to God and then expect to receive. And now you might also realize that you've done it wrong for all these years, at least if you were focusing more on your physical reality than on the imaginal act. And that's something that, well, we've all been there, because when I think back to the time when I was lying in bed with severe nerve damage, in pain and frustrated and angry at the world, it was so hard for me to not focus on this physical reality. Or when I looked at my bank account back then and I saw a number that I didn't want to see, it was so hard for me to not focus on it, but instead to focus on the imaginal act. But in Corinthians 4:18 it is written that what you see with your eyes, and these are your beautiful eyes, what you see with your eyes, your physical reality, is only temporary. So focus on the unseen, because your unseen, or let's say what you don't see, your unseen, does that make sense? You get what I mean. What is unseen creates your real reality. Fix your eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Corinthians 4:18. And when I read the following Bible verse for the very first time, I had goosebumps all over my body, because finally Neville Goddard's words, "I am God," made complete sense. And no, I don't mean this in the realm of I am an external God, but the God within us, which consists of awareness, consciousness, and imagination. So in Luke 17:21 it is written, "The kingdom of God is within." And the kingdom is the combination of consciousness and awareness. And consciousness and awareness, if you combine them, they can then together create imagination, so the imaginal act. And then by adding the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you then create your manifestation, the outcome, the life, the experiences that you truly want in your life. Now, what if I told you that a lot of people are already very good at seeking, but they are not good at knocking on the door? Because I still remember when I had less than $1,000 in my bank account, I was good at seeking. I mean, I wanted more money. I wanted abundance. I was seeking for this new life, but I didn't knock on the door, because the moment you feel as if you already have what you want, the moment you feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that's when you knock on the door, and that's when the door can be opened for you. Because remember, unless you knock on the door, everything that you want stays behind that door, because the door won't open for you. But if you knock on the door, knock, knock, then the door shall open. And you knock with the feelings, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And that's why it is written in Matthew 7:7, "Ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you." And now that you made it almost to the end of this video, I want to briefly mention that if you want to find out more about my 8-week Abundance Reality Shift coaching program, or you want to book an individual coaching session with me, you can click on the first or the second link in the description. And now that you know how you can use these Bible verses to manifest, you might also want to know how I use the teachings of Neville Goddard, whose lectures are often to a big extent based on the teachings in the Bible, how I used his teachings to heal my body. If you're ready to find out more about that, you can click here and watch this video.